Kisha with Keep It Plain Travel, and we're going to talk about how to stay safe when traveling during spring break. Let's get into it. So there's been a lot of talk, especially during the spring, because that is spring break. So that is the time where travelers, college students, and families travel to other states, other countries to relax and vacation for spring break. Now, there have been some tragedies lately in the news, but that shouldn't stop you for wanting to travel during spring break. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to try to be safe when you're traveling during spring break. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe so I can give you more tips like this. But make sure you share, especially so other travelers, family members, and friends can follow these tips so they can be just as safe as you are. So the first tip, number one, keep your belongings secure. Make sure you're keeping your bags and your purses on you and zipped up and not open. Make sure you avoid carrying too much cash at once. And then make sure that you keep your items next to you. If you're on the beach, try not to leave your bags or purses unattended for too long of a time. If you're in crowded spaces, make sure you wear a money belt or a concealed bag that is not easily to cut or rip open. And just keep an eye on your things at all times. Be mindful of oversized bags or purses. And if you're just gaudy with flashy jewelry and things of that sort, sometimes that can give thieves an idea that you might be a good target. So keep that in mind and keep your belongings on you. Number two, stay in groups. Avoid wandering off alone, especially at night. Stick with friends and people that you know. If you do wander off or you walk off from your group, tell your friends or your group where you will be, what direction you're going in. So if something happens, they know how to track and hopefully find you. Be mindful when you're exploring unfamiliar places and just always make sure someone knows where you're at all times. But if you can, stay in groups. Number three, have a plan and share it. Before you leave to travel, make sure someone back home knows where you're going, knows what hotel or resort you're staying at, what airline you're taking, what parking garage you're parking at. Make sure that information is given to them before you travel. If you do travel with others, make sure you guys come up with an action plan. So if something happens, someone gets lost, or say you're taking a metro and somebody gets off on the wrong stop, have a plan as to what to do in those type of situations. The best way to stay safe is to prepare ahead of time and make sure everyone is on the same page. You can even create a password amongst your friends, your family, or your group. So if you're in a dangerous situation in public or in private and you say that password, then they know that means something is wrong. And then most importantly, share your location with others, whether it's your Uber app that you're using and you can share your route with family and friends, or your location as you're traveling with someone back home. So the most important thing is have a plan and share it. Number four, use transportation you trust. If you're taking an Uber or a Lyft or other rideshare, make sure you verify the driver's name and license plate before you enter the vehicle. Make sure you're only taking transportation from trusted sources, and if you can, try to book or reserve your transportation beforehand. Make sure you know the culture of the transportation in the country or city that you're going. Some places don't have Uber, some places use a different type of ride share, some places don't take cash. So just make sure you know that so you won't be in a situation where you are unsafe or someone tries to force you to pay a certain way or something of that sort because you weren't aware of how that payment should be made. So most important thing is to use transportation you trust. Areas. Number five, avoid risky areas. Try to stay in well-lit areas. Try to stay on your resort if you are traveling out of the country. And if you do go off the resort, Make sure that someone in the hotel that you trust knows that you're leaving. And if you are with a group, make sure that you and everyone else in your group maintains visibility in lighted areas. Avoid wandering off into unfamiliar and unknown neighborhoods or sketchy areas. Do your research beforehand so you know what areas of that city or that country that you should avoid, and avoid those areas. And of course, most importantly, be careful of navigating the beach areas, especially after sunset or when it's dark. A lot of times there are not security or hotel or resort personnel on the beach after dark, so be mindful of that. If you're walking along the beach, if you have to walk across the beach or even a pool area to get to your room or to go to dinner, be mindful of that and try to walk around with people that you trust and know. And also, even if there is security on the beach, be mindful of that. If you're in a foreign area, you don't know the security personnel, so you still have to be careful of strangers in general. So just be mindful. Number 6, stay alert and aware at all times. Be careful if you have your earbuds or headphones on and you're walking around, because there could be cars coming or people walking up to you and you don't see them or hear them. So make sure you have your volume to a level where you can at least hear if someone walks up to you or if a car is blowing their horn. Avoid getting too distracted by being on your cell phone or by listening to music, especially in crowded and unfamiliar places. If something feels off, trust your instincts and leave. And let's stop telling strangers all of our business when we travel. Where you work, first and last name, what hotel you're staying, what hotel you're staying in. If they don't stay in the same hotel with you, you got to be careful, because that can lead to a target on you. Now, that doesn't mean don't be nice to people, but just be careful of telling them all your business. Be mindful of telling strangers all of your personal details that can lead to you being targeted or scammed. So just stay alert and be aware. Number 7, stay hydrated and know your limits. Whether you're at a party or a beach, stay hydrated and limit your consumption. Never leave your drink unattended. If you ask for a drink of any kind, watch the bartender or the person in the restaurant. If you can, make your drink. And of course, make sure to drink lots of water if you're laying in the sun all day. Number 8, have travel insurance. Whether you think travel insurance is a waste of money or not, travel insurance is always a good idea, especially since the pandemic. Travel insurance covers unexpected situations like lost luggage, delayed flights, and medical emergencies. Medical insurance in the States, if that's where you live, is not valid out of the country. So if an accident happens or illness occurs and you need treatment, you want to make sure you're covered. Additionally, having travel insurance in the medical portion can also determine what type of care you receive and where you receive it. So you want to keep that in mind and be mindful. Get travel insurance through your travel advisor before you travel so you're covered. Number 9, research your destination. Know the culture and unspoken rules and the etiquette of the destination you're going to. Know if being loud in public will get you a ticket, or if touching a turtle in the water can get you put in jail. Know if the country you're going to would see it as a problem if you wear army fatigue or military type clothing or materials like Jamaica and Ghana. So do your research so you can be well prepared to be safe while traveling. Number 10, choose your companions wisely. I can't say this enough. Yes, you want to travel with your friends and family. Maybe you've never traveled with them before, but some people aren't the best to travel with. Why not? Depending on their personality, how much fun they like to have. You don't want to end up in jail or in trouble while you're traveling because of someone you're traveling with. If you're traveling with a group for the first time or someone for the first time, make sure you get to know them as much as you can before you go. Think about keeping your wallet and your belongings secure if you have to share a room with them. And if possible, try to get your own room. Make sure to choose your sleeping arrangements accordingly. It's always good to travel in groups, or to meet up with a travel group to travel. But if you can travel with someone you know, that's great. If you can't, make sure you follow steps 1 through 9 so you can be as safe as possible when traveling during spring break or any other time. By following these tips and being mindful and prepared, travelers can have the best spring break experience possible. Plain and simple.